Fighting Eagles! Yes, this is how I begin my orientations. Welcome aboard! Welcome to Central Texas College. We are so excited to have you. My name is Mariceli Santiago. I am the Director of Student Life and Activities, and I am so excited to have every single one of you here. You are amazing. We're happy that you're here because we know that the fact that you're here is already automatically going to make you more successful in whatever it is that you decide to do in the future, especially with us here at CTC. We're going to talk today about the scoop. We're going to have all kinds of information to make you successful in your college experience and then hopefully beyond. Again, my name is Mariceli Santiago as the Director of Student Life and Activities. I want to welcome you. We're super excited and we have a full day ahead. Just a few things here. We're live here in our WebEx. You are welcome to go ahead and log in to our WebEx, ask any questions in the chat, keep yourselves muted, and we're going to try to answer them as much as possible. For those of you joining us either through Discord, Twitch, or Facebook, welcome as well. You're welcome to ask any questions that you might have, and we will also do everything that we can to address them. Go ahead and type in your questions, let us know what's going on, and we'll take it from there. But first, we want to welcome you officially, not just me, but we have other people that want to say hi to you. And the very first one that wants to say hi to you is Dr. Robin Garrett, our Deputy Chancellor. Take it away, Dr. Garrett.
Thank you, Mariceli. Hi, I'm Dr. Robin Garrett. I'm the Deputy Chancellor of Academic and Student Success here at Central Texas College. And on behalf of the entire executive team, the administration, the staff, the faculty, everybody, we are so excited to welcome you to Central Texas College. Whether it's your first time here or you're coming back, you're going to learn some new and exciting things in this new student orientation. We have the most amazing faculty and staff. They are so incredible, and you can see they're all here to help you. Not all of them, but the majority of them are all here. Wave, yes, to help you, to give you the information that you need. And remember, we're all people. You have questions, ask us. That's what we're here for. Don't be afraid to ask your faculty. Don't be afraid to ask your staff. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you achieve your goals and to be successful at Central Texas College and beyond. So please be open, be honest, and work with us, and we'll work with you. And have a great semester, and we'll see you out on campus or online, one of the two. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Garrett. Thank you. I know you have a busy schedule today, and I appreciate you stopping on by. Next in line, we have our Dean of Student Success, Julie Starkey, and my boss. So let's make it really loud for her. Come on, guys. Thank you for coming.
Awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome to CTC. I'm so excited that we have a huge group. Just what I'm saying, it's 109. I don't know if it's more or less on other things, but so thank you guys for all being here. I don't know if you know this, but you are taking the first step towards success by attending new student orientation. It is so important because we're going to provide you so much information. It might be a little overwhelming. But nonetheless, this is your first step towards success. We've got a ton of faculty and staff that are going to be logged in all day. It's not an all day, all morning, and answer your questions. So make sure you're asking those questions of us so that we can get those answers out to you. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't give you a few tips for success, though, and that's always what I do. The people that hear this know what mine are, but here they go. Number one, guys, and you're going to hear this from the faculty when they talk, you got to go to class every single day or log into your class or participate. This is not one of these things that that you kind of do it on a whim. You've got to do this every day. You've got to commit to this. And this has got to be a huge part of what you do. So I want you to do that. I want you to turn everything in. Dr. Reese and Mr. Wager are going to talk about the syllabus and different things that are important to them. And they're going to show you about all those assignments. And you're going to see if you fail to turn something in, you're just hurting yourself. So I want you to make a commitment to put on your calendar everything and do everything, even if you think you're doing fine, because you don't know what the end of the semester might bring. So you got to get everything in. You've got to talk to your instructors. Your instructors are your number one resource, and we're gonna reinforce that so much today. You've got to talk to them. You've got to get to know them. You've got to ask them questions. Yeah, it's great to talk to all of us about some things too, but ask those questions. Ask about an assignment. Ask if you are unsure about something. You've got to talk to them. The next thing is I want you to use resources, and you're going to learn a lot about your resources today. You need to start using those day one, and day one is August 22nd. Most of our classes start then. Some of you may already be in a class that has started, but most of the time our classes do start August 22nd, and I want you to use those resources. Those resources involve going to the library and logging in and using those resources. That includes going to tutoring, and we have lots of tutoring. It involves using the student services, your academic advisor, and all kinds of different things. You've got to use these resources day one. It's okay if you wait a month or whatever, we're still going to welcome you into those resources, but please use them starting day one. And the last thing is I want you to commit to this experience and work really hard at it. It's not easy. It requires a lot of work, and I'm not going to lie to you that it's not a lot of work, but you can do it. I have faith in you, and you guys have taken step one by coming to New Student Orientation. Guys, have a great day. Ask your questions in the chat because we got a ton of people here to answer those questions for you, and we're here for you. Take it away, Mariceli.
All right. Thank you, Dean Starkey. All right. Well, we're going to kind of show off a few things here and what the plan is for today in our agenda. So I'm just going to share this really quickly so that everybody has an idea as to what's going on. So we are going to have our welcome. We already did that. We're going to have a quick Blackboard overview. We're going to have a faculty panel. We're going to have information about Eagle Mail and the importance of that, financial aid, academic advising. Campus Police is going to stop in and talk about safety and security where you're located, conduct and resources, as well as a Q&A at the very end. Okay, keep yourselves muted, please. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing very, very quickly because somebody is talking. Okay, cool. All right, so to introduce, for those of you that were talking, oh, I'm taking business, logistics, and a whole bunch of others, I'm just going to let her introduce and tell you everything she does. Take it away, Dr. Angela Reese.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Eagles. We're so excited to have you here today, and there are so many of you this morning. Wow, this is amazing to get to see so many new faces, and we are so excited that you are here and taking the first steps towards success. So I won't go into all of my tips for success until the next portion. So for now, I'm supposed to be talking about Blackboard. And Mariceli, I only have one computer open today. So if you can let me know if y'all aren't seeing what I'm talking about at the time, okay? All right, so I'm talking to you about Blackboard. So Blackboard is our virtual classroom. And this is where you will go for the majority of your classes. Even your lecture classes might have a component to where you have to use Blackboard. So those of you who are like me and like to make sure that you are on top of things and try to do things at the same time, maybe the presenter is showing them, just so you know, you are not going to be able to do the things I'm showing you right now. So just take it all in, take screenshots if you want to, take pictures with your phone. I'm just going to show you how to access Blackboard, but you will not be able to access it until tomorrow. So 3 days before your first class starts. So how do you get there? Big, huge, important question, right? So this is our homepage, ctcd.edu. You're going to scroll down to the bottom of the homepage. Now there's going to be a lot of ways to get to Blackboard, but this is just a quick and easy way I like to get there to show you. Down here at the bottom, you're going to click on this link that says Blackboard. And then once you do, it is going to bring you to the Blackboard website, which is actually ctc.blackboard.com. This is one you can save to your favorite browser and even save your login information here. And then you're going to say, well, I don't know my login information. Well, username and password. Your username is going to be your student ID. And if you don't know your student ID, you can check it out on your schedule. You can check it out on your ID card. And if you still don't have any of those things with you, you can also go down here and click on Blackboard username lookup, and you will be able to enter your first name, your last name, and your date of birth. And then it will tell you what your student ID is. From there, you'll go back in, you'll put in your username and then your password. Everybody should know this one. It's your birthday, month, day, year. And for example, if you were born today, it would be 081822. All right, so now that we've done that, we're going to log in, and this is something similar to what you're going to see. Of course, mine has a lot of faculty resources here. Yours are going to say student resources, but the one area that you're really going to want to check out here is going to be my courses. So as you can see here, these are a list of all of my classes that are coming up for this fall semester. As you can see, it also says not currently available, which means you do not have access to them just yet. But once you do, which will be tomorrow, you'll be able to see all of the classes that you have registered for that are using a Blackboard component. So let's just go into my business principles. As Mariceli said, I do teach business classes, and this is one, if it looks fun to you, this is one that's on the majority of the degree plans. So you might want to check this one out. So now that I've clicked on the course, we are inside the course. The first thing it's going to bring you to, in most of your classes, which your instructor might have theirs set up differently, but for the most part, a lot of our classes are set up very similarly. So you're going to see the announcements. Make sure to read all announcements the very first time that you log in for great information. And then your faculty might also want to communicate with you in this manner. So for example, I like to put at least one announcement per week, just kind of a what's happening this week and just some great tips and reminders. This is how I like to communicate. Other instructors will send messages to the entire class, and yet others will send emails to everybody. So just make sure that you are you're active in your course and how your instructor wants you to be. Now, on the left-hand side, I'm just going to go over a few of the important areas. Keep in mind that, again, this is my course. This is how our business courses are set up. So maybe your science courses or your math courses might be in a different order, or they might have some different assignments than what you're seeing on mine. So if you're thinking she is going so fast, she's only going to talk for 10 minutes, but I have so many questions, Blackboard's brand new. So if this is something that you want to watch again, or in more detail, we do have a CTC live that I will put in the chat once I'm finished with my presentation that you can click on. It's a 45-minute overview of Blackboard. It goes into a lot more detail than what I'm going to be showing you here today. So left-hand side under Start here. Once you select that, you really only need to go here one time. Your very first time you log into Blackboard, it's going to have the same information in every course, and it's just going to help you get familiar with it, a lot of the resources that are available for you, how to check your grades in the class, how to communicate, information about disability support, and the list goes on and on. So check it out that first time just to make sure you're familiar with everything in the course. We also have Biosig, but I'm going to come back to that at the end. From their announcements, we talked about messages. If you want to send a message to your instructor, or if your instructor sends a message to you, this is where you will find it. If you want to create a message, you can. I'm not going to do that because it would show you all of the students in my class. But you'll be able to see anybody that's enrolled in your course along with your instructor's name there, so that you would then be able to shoot a message to anyone you'd like to. A little bit further down, Instructor Info. So this is how you're going to find out how to communicate with your instructor. They might have some personal notes here for you on their best and preferred communication method. You can see what their office hours are, their email address, their phone number, etc. Now, the meat and the potatoes of the class that I like to call it, Syllabus Page 1. This is your roadmap to success. So, excuse me. Most of your courses will have the syllabus here. There aren't too many folks that hand out the syllabus anymore. There are some in the lecture that do still do that, but most of your instructors will also have that here. You're going to be able to see information about the course, what your learning outcomes are, what the course materials are going to be for your course, our extension policy if that is needed, and frequently asked questions down here at the bottom. So that's page 1. Now I'm going to go on to Syllabus Page 2. This is the page that I would definitely suggest you print out. This is, again, that roadmap to success. This shows you every single thing that you are going to have to do in your courses. It tells you the start and the end date. Let me scroll down just a little bit here. So you can see that this course is a 16-week course. It starts in August and it ends in December, as you can see here under the delivery terms. It will also tell you if your if the course you're in is self-paced, if it has hard deadlines, if it's a lecture course, if it's a blended course, it will say specifically right here, just in case you don't know what you registered for, and then you log into Blackboard, you can just double check the start and the end date, and then the type of course it is. Now, one thing that I really want to draw your attention to, because everybody here is a new student. So one thing that you might not realize, even in a self-paced course, meaning it has a start date, it has an end date. However, all of the assignments only have suggested due dates. Now, I suggest that you follow those and make sure that you are submitting things throughout the semester. Don't wait till the last minute to submit everything. While technically you can, it is not suggested. But the one thing that you need to keep in mind is every single one of your courses, you have to be active the first week of class. If not, the instructors have to drop you. It is a policy that we have here at the college. So make sure that you look and see. So for example, my course, it says, please complete the course procedures quiz. So that is your ticket to make sure you were staying in the class by making sure you get that complete. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit. As you can see here, you will see basically, again, that roadmap, every single assignment, when it is suggested to be due. And if you are in a class that is not self-paced, then you're going to want to make sure that you follow those due dates. Again, you have to make sure that you keep track of yourself and make sure that you keep track of where you are in the class. One thing I suggest is you print out this page. I'm somebody who likes to highlight, cross off, check mark. So this might be something that you do to help you, or if you put it onto, if you prefer some type of an app or an online calendar, whatever makes you successful to make sure that you are following each of those. And I think I saw a comment pop up about some classes have hard due dates. Yes, absolutely. So this is where you're going to want to make sure that you know what is required of you for your course. And then again, further down, we've got a few other things that you can check out, but one thing I want to point out to you is your course grade. This tells you what you have to be successful, how many points you have to get an A, B, C, and of course a D is actually failing, so you don't want that. You want to make sure that you are in this higher range here. Any questions so far, Marcelli, while I'm moving on? Okay, thank you. All right, underneath that, now this is what might look a little bit different in each of your classes. So it could say lessons, it could say weekly assignments, it could say units, but this is where you're going to be able to dig into the course. And I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. Article report, that's a specific assignment I have. It might say research paper. It might say Pearson's math lab. If you're in a math course with Dr. Cruz Seeley, every course is set up a little bit different. So you're going to have to get used to what these assignments are here for you. Discussion boards, other assignments that I have. Now I'm going to scroll a little bit further down. I want you to see this My Grades on the left-hand side. When I click on My Grades, it's going to show me what my progress is to date in the class. So as you can see here, I have all of the assignments open for my students since this is self-paced. If you're in a class with hard deadlines, it'll look a little bit different, but this is where you can go to see if you have submitted an assignment. So this dash tells me I have not submitted it yet. If it were a blue circle, it would tell me that I'm working on it, meaning it's not yet complete. And if it's complete, it will have an exclamation point that's white inside of a yellow circle. That tells me I've done everything I have to do in order to submit this assignment. Now it's up to the instructor to grade it. So this is a great place for you to double check that you have submitted an assignment. So don't email your instructor saying, hey, did I submit quiz 1? Well, you can go to My Grades and you can see that very easily. Now, if you're having an issue, definitely contact your instructor if you're unclear on where to look. Now, the last thing I want to show you, my time is running out, is regarding this Biosig Id. I'm going to click on it. I'm not going to read it to you. I'm just going to show you kind of the information that is here. But basically, this is a one-time thing that you will have to set up. It will stay with you with every single course that you take at CTC. Excuse me, every single Blackboard course that you have, you will use the same Biosig ID. I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's been created and what you will have to do in order to allow you to see a few things. So as you can see here, I have lessons verification. I'm going to click on it, and what it's going to do is it's going to take me to my Biosig ID site. I'm going to enter carefully. my password, and you can use my same one. Ooh, look, that's the first time that's ever happened. Hang on just a second. I better concentrate. Huh, Marcelli? That's the first time. It's because I'm not in my normal, I have my computer on my lap, so it's not how I'm used to doing it. All right, so now that I have completed my Biosig ID, it is going to release this assignment to me. So now you can see all of the lessons and you'll be able to go into it. Now, each instructor might have this in a different spot. Some instructors might have it with the exams. Other instructors might have it with the lessons or with an assignment. But just don't stress out about that. It is quick and easy to set up. And then again, you use it in all of your classes. So do we have any questions yet or anything I haven't covered that I need to, ma'am?
There was a quick question about like how the app versus a computer usage of Blackboard. Like, can you do everything on the app?
So I have students that have told me that they have done everything on the app except for the exams, that has not gone well. I don't know how many students honestly have been successful in that. And we have several other faculty online that might be able to share with that. But from my experience, what students have told me, they prefer not to use the app for exams. And even for me, when I've tried to use the app, I can't see everything. It doesn't display like it should. So I would definitely suggest logging in personally, I would from your computer. Are there other faculty online that have any other comments regarding that?
Okay, so let's do this because it's time. Let's just
Okay.
do a quick, use that as a segment in a,
Okay.
because we have to start this faculty panel. And I know the faculty have somewhere to go for the most part afterwards. So let's do this real quick. You all met Dr. Angela Reese already. I want to introduce as well Dr. Daniel Wegert from the Science Department. And we also have Dr. Cruz Seeley from the Math Department who are going to join us into this faculty panel. And that's going to be the first question for you guys is going to be, what do you guys think about the app versus a computer usage for your class?
A lot of students also have told me that they don't have great experiences with exams or any kind of assessments in Blackboard. And then mathematics, of course, uses a third-party vendor, and again, not great with the phones and the apps. So I think the best thing is to, if you can, take your assessments using a computer. We have labs on campus. Or try to find a library where you can use the labs in order to take your assessments and get those completed.
I was going to say the same thing. I've heard from students that didn't do well using cell phones, but also check with your instructor because some courses, like the others were saying, sometimes there's other programs that are needed. One of the courses I teach online, the lab program, has its own specific requirements. One of them is that you cannot use a Chromebook. The software will not work with Chromebook. All other laptops are fine. All other computers are fine. So check with your instructor.
Excellent questions. Okay, so my usual question, I just use that one as a segue. My usual question is, what is your hot tip for the students? The one thing that if they don't know anything else, if they don't remember anything else that you want them to know. Ooh, there's a hand up. There's a hand up.
Okay.
Dr. Cruz?
This is Dr. Christy Shank in Mathematics Department. No matter what course you're taking, you guys, it really comes down to time management for me. That is like the biggest thing. Like, we know that you have full-time jobs. We know that you have full-time children. You know, we know that there's full-time COVID out there still. Like, we get it, we know. But we also know that you signed up for this class. You did, or whatever class you're in, right? You have this goal in mind. I want to finish my degree. I want to get get these classes and get certified, or whatever you're doing. You have this goal. So you know what you have. Place your fixed commitments down every week. I know Angela Reese was talking about, Dr. Reese was talking about planners. I'm a planner myself. Like, I write everything down and check it off, right? Place your fixed commitments. You have to work. I work 9 to 5 today. When I get home, I can give you an hour of my time. I'll take it. But you should not wait until the due date to get everything done. You know what you do? I'm sitting here eating popcorn, watching to see if you're going to get it all finished because it's so hard to do. Okay, so really make sure that you're spreading your fixed commitments. You have to work, you have to go home and cook, you have to feed your children. It's frowned upon if you don't feed your children. So you have to feed them, right? So we get all of that. I understand. But then you're going to have to carve some time out to be a student. And so then some of y'all might be asking, like, when do I do self-care? When you graduate. No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. You have to, I'm playing, okay? Scratch that. Maricela, erase that part. I'm just playing. No, self-care has to happen too. You need to take a break. How many of y'all have ever studied for something so long and then when you go take the test, you blank? Anybody? Just me? Okay. Okay, so think about that. It's because you focused on it so long that it blanked out. You have to step away. You have to step away and come back with a fresh pair of eyes. So really also time management and self-care, it's really, really important when you're doing it, but it's really about organizing yourself and meeting those goals. So that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Dr. Weggert or Angela?
Mine is please, 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 and I know Dean Starkey's already said this, and more people will. Communication is key. It is absolutely critical. If something's going on, we can't help if we don't know. If you have a question that needs to be answered, we can't answer it unless you ask. So if there are things like that are holding you up because you don't know how to create a discussion board in Blackboard, you can't figure it out, don't just not do it. Ask us. We can send you screenshots. We can get on the phone and walk you through it. We can record a video. We can do it like this with you and show you how to do things in your class. So don't let technology be something that holds you back. So if it's that, ask us. If it's the content, ask us. If it's about your future, am I on the right degree plan? Even though you've already gone through and chatted with your advisors or you're about to, still ask those questions as things change. Be sure to share to network in your classes. There's a lot of students that will that have come up here and told their advisors, I want to get a business degree. So they get on a business degree. They don't explain that they want to be an entrepreneur. So then they tell me or tell another student in class, hey, you know, I want to start my own business. And I'm like, whoa, you're not on the right degree plan. Let's back up and let's make sure that we're on the right path. So my thing is just communicate, make sure to ask your questions, network in your classes so that you can have the best experience over this semester and all of the semesters to come.
And I've got two things that I want y'all to keep in mind as you're going forward. One, do not overload yourself. I get it because I'm in the sciences and I know there are a lot of people that are scared of science. I get a lot of people in their last year at CTC trying to take math and science and all those classes that they're scared of all at once. Don't do that. That just makes it harder to finish. Spread the hard classes out with some of the easy ones. The other thing is don't be afraid if something's not working, don't be afraid to change. If you're trying something and it's not working for you, talk to us, see, we'll see what we can do to help, but don't be afraid to change and try something different because what wasn't working, if you just keep it going, it's still not going to work. Don't be afraid to change it up and try something different to see if that works better. But again, like Dr. Reese was saying, communicate. We can only help if you let us know what you need and let us know that you need help.
Excellent, excellent. Those are excellent points. And some of those I had not heard in the panel before, so I'm kind of excited about that. So really quickly, there's a lot of questions in the chat about textbooks and materials needed for the class, and there's all kinds of different things. So I see Dr. Cruz-Seeley again, hands, she's excited today. Go for it.
No, my number one thing is just talk to your instructor first. It's the first day. We're not going to bust out, the Pythagorean theorem on the first day. Okay. So it's the first day. I would reach out to your instructor and ask them, what do you require? Because although we have college algebra, I'm just using math for an example, and there's a whole bunch of sections, each teacher might want their own thing. So like for me, example, I don't want you to bring a textbook to class every day. I don't require that, but another instructor might. So you really want to make sure that you just talk to your instructor the first day, send them a message the first day if you're confused on what exactly you need for that specific course.
And I just want to add to, oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add, I did put a link in just so you can kind of start wrapping your head around maybe some of the books that you may need. There's a link there that you can go and check it out, and you just type in, if you're taking the course I showed you, you type in BUSI 1301, and then it would show you the textbook that's required for the course. But as Dr. Crusile said, make sure to reach out to your instructors. We don't mind you asking questions ahead of time. I get students that email me all the time saying, hey, this is the book that I see. Is this right? And I will reply and make sure that the students have everything that they need ahead of time, those that are wanting to get a jump start on it.
Yeah, and can you explain about the OER? Somebody?
Yes, of course. So the course that I showed you, you might have seen that it said OER on Syllabus Page 2. What that means is Open Educational Resources, which basically means free. So if you were to go to the CTC website for our bookstore, you would see that the book that's required is the OER book, and it'll have a link that takes you directly to the book. But then it'll also say optional, and I believe it's $40. That's if you want it printed for you. So just make sure that you're paying attention to that. That if you do see that OER as something in the course, that would be the required, and then the optional was if you want a hard copy.
Excellent. So, I know I've had, how is it? Because I had a situation and we had some military here. So I think, what if there's a military student or somebody who's still active duty, what can they do to get assistance if something happens and they have to go out in the field or they're out of pocket for a little bit? Or if the student, even if they're not military, something happens, they're not able to come to class, or how should they handle that?
Mainly communicate with your instructor as soon as possible. As soon as, if you're in the military and you hear today that in 2 weeks you're going to go in the field, don't wait 2 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever and tell us. As soon as you know, send us an email, let us know, hey, what do I do? Because each class will be a little different. Some classes may be more flexible than others depending on the way they're offered. Just talk to your instructor and see what they can do for you. That's going to be your best bet, and do it as soon as possible, because there's a lot of folks that I've talked to here that were a lot more lenient if you tag us before, but if you wait till after it's over, we don't give as much leeway. So if you know you're going to be deployed for 2 weeks and you tag us now and say, I'm going in the field, 3 weeks from now, we'll work with you to get you through that bad stretch. But if you come to us after you've been gone for 2 weeks and say, what do I do? A lot of the instructors aren't quite as flexible at that point. So tell us as soon as we can, because then it gives us more options to help you.
Okay. I'm gonna throw something out specifically for Dr. Weger, but actually, the others may also have something too. Because I had noticed there's a lot of individuals here that are interested in the medical field, and even though it's the medical field, most of the individuals have to start really with the sciences. So, can you talk a little bit about the importance of not just for the medical field, but in general, making sure you have good grades for the future, but specifically, if you could also talk about the medical field stuff.
Well, grades are important overall because theoretically it's showing how much you learned from that class, how well you know the material. But in some cases, like she's saying with the medical field, the nursing program requires certain classes before you can ever enter the nursing program. One of them is A&P 1, Anatomy and Physiology 1. Once you're in the nursing program, you're going to have to take Anatomy and Physiology 2. Some students go ahead and take it beforehand just to get it out of the way and not have to do it with the nursing classes. But one thing is your grades will be used as part of the admission into the nursing program. So if you're doing really, really well, you have a better chance of getting into the nursing program. But if you struggle, then that lowers your chances. Also, if you have to retake it, the more times you retake it, my understanding is the nursing program averages all the grades together. It's not just your highest grade, it's they average all the grades from all the times you've taken it. So if you want to get in there and want to give yourself the best chance to get in there, try and take that with very few other difficult courses, because A&P is one you are going to need to put in a lot of time. The old school way of determining loads, you all have probably heard that 12 credit hours is a full-time load for college students. The reason is you should be in a 16-week semester, you should be in class that number of hours for that week. So if you're taking 12 hours, you're in class 12 hours a week. But then you're expected to be putting in time outside of class, reading, doing homework and such. And the old way of looking at it was for every hour you're in class, you do 3 hours of work outside of class. Most of our classes don't require that much outside of class learning, but some still do. A&P is a big one because it's going to teach you the foundational stuff for nursing to build on. So you really need to pay attention in that case.
Yes, and like I said, I know it has to do with military. I specifically asked about medical field, but do either one of you, Dr. Cruz-Seeley or Dr. Reese, have anything to add to that before we keep going? Is that pretty much it?
I mean, you can't take
Okay.
some of the sciences until you take math, so come and see me.
Yeah, many of them
You want
require
to be a
math
charge
or-
nurse, you need business.
All right. We will, that is, just so you guys know, that is also going to be part of this. We're going to shamelessly plug our departments throughout the whole event, because we want to make sure that you know how important we can be to your success. So let's see. What other questions we had over here? I know that sometimes some of the students, they haven't mentioned it yet, but a lot of the times they're thinking, well, and it was kind of mentioned, oh, I'm going to leave that really difficult class to the very end because I don't really think that I want to deal with it right now. And then it kind of comes to the very, very end. And I'm going to throw that one more to Dr. Cruz-Seeley, because usually it is math. And there's a whole process, and a lot of times students need a little bit of extra push or assistance with math. So can you kind of explain your hybrid, blended, whatever those courses are called? I forgot what they're called, but
we have
this developmental, and how we have kind of created things to help improve and how they work.
Absolutely. So before, we used to have like developmental classes that were for no credit in mathematics, and you would have to do all of those before you can get to the on-credit class. So we no longer have, well, we have that, but the majority of the time what we're doing is a co-rec. So what we'll do is, if you're not really strong in math, we'll put you in a co-rec where you're taking the math class that you need for credit, but you're also getting that support that you might need, that extra practice, those lab hours, that really personalized attention while you're taking that math for credit, so that you can get that support and get through. So mathematics is really a prereq for some courses. So you really want to make sure you're taking that early and not waiting until the last minute, because then you're just probably going to add an extra semester because you're like, oh wait, I needed this to take this class. And so you want to make sure that if it's a prereq, that you're coming to do with this nice and early. And then some people are like, oh my gosh, I hate math though. Okay, well, I promise you we can get you through it. You just have to work hard and do the assignments, and really just don't quit. A lot of people quit, and you probably would have passed if you just kept going. And people are like, well, I just really hate it. Okay, well, you have to take it. So let's take it, knock it out, and move on to the next class. If you hate math, don't take it twice. Get it right the first time, right? So you don't have to do it again. So we really have support. We have a whole lab. We have tutors online. Even if you're taking mathematics online, we have an online tutor available for you. And then one of the biggest resources is your instructor. I'm in here. I'm literally in my office just waiting for students to come talk to me. So you can always come to your instructor, and they will help, right? We have technology now. There's no way a teacher says, I can't help you. We can do a WebEx, we can do a Zoom, we can come together to really try to help with these resources. So we really have a lot of different modalities. You don't just have to take a traditional online class. You can if you want to, but we also have the co-rec courses, on-level face-to-face classes, and virtual classes. So pick which one works for you.
Marceli, can I speak to two questions that popped up in the chat just to make sure everybody?
Yes. there's,
Okay.
yes, please do.
There's-
I was about to
there's a
mention
couple.
them. Mhm.
So, because I know sometimes it's hard to follow in the chat. So yes, I did mention that there is a required first week assignment on syllabus page 2. You will see that what that required assignment is. If you can't find it, ask, because every instructor has to have you do at least one graded activity or you will be dropped from your course. That is our policy at the college. So if you can't figure out what it is, make sure that you either email or message your instructor to ask. The other question is, and I know that Charlotte already answered, and you'll hear from her soon, in student success and persistence, an amazing department over there with so many resources that they're going to share with you. They mean it. Come see them. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you don't want to ask your instructor or tell your instructor that you're overwhelmed, go see her. Look, she's got her pom-pom over there. See, she's ready for you too, waiting at her desk. So make sure to use those resources that she's going to share with you here in a little while.
And also talk to your instructors, because different classes have different resources. For instance, in the science department, a lot of times students find that the lab time we have is not enough to get everything done. They may want, an extra 5, 10, 20 minutes to try and finish up the last little bit. So many of us are offering open lab hours where it's not a class time, but an instructor will be in the lab is open, anyone in the class can come in and put in a little extra time. Many times I get students come into my open lab hours right before the lab test because they want to look it over again to study and prepare for that test. So talk to your instructors.
All right. There was another question that I think it's really important. And I want to say thank you to Naja for bringing it up. I am nervous for my fall semester. I am a full-time student and I know 12 credit hours are required. I had to sign up for 4 classes in order to meet the 12 credit requirement, which is actually 14 credits altogether. Am I overworking myself? I'm a little confused. I'm a new college student. Later on, I did see that she mentioned that 2 of the classes were developmental courses, included that developmental course option. So, and I know Dr. Weger replied to that, but can we kind of talk a little bit about quality over quantity and, what it requires to become a full-time student?
Well,
Maybe?
well, 12 hours is kind of the minimum for being a full-time student. But most students find that they want to take more like 15 credit hours because it actually helps you get done in the 2 years instead of having to go to summer classes and things like that. So 12, 15, it's fine. That's a normal load for most students. It's not until you get to things like 18, 20 hours that the school's going to require you to do some other things, because that's getting questionable. As long as you're in the like 12 to 15 range, you're usually good. Also, and I don't know if the others may have a different experience, but what I found when I went from high school to college was one of the biggest differences I saw in the classes was a lot of the make work went away. What we do in our class, we do for a reason. It is there to help you. It is not there just to fill time. So there's usually a little bit less work overall because we're not giving you any make work. We're just giving you what you need to know how to do. So workload seemed to drop a little bit, at least I seem to think it dropped a little bit when I went from high school to college. So, and it also, again, depends on the classes. Some classes may be a little more work intensive, like A and P. I'll tell you right now, A and P 1 and A and P 2, they're intense. They are rough. Other sciences, other classes, not so much. And it also will depend on you. If it's something you're really good at, you're probably not going to need a lot of time outside of class because you pick it up and you go with it. But if it's something you struggle with, you may need more time. That's why I said it's kind of an old rule of thumb. It's not set in stone.
Yes, ditto to that. And I just want to add from personal experience as well. When I was getting my undergrad, I didn't follow the suggested outline of what classes to take together. And somehow I managed to take 18 hours worth of finance and accounting in one semester. And I did not do well that semester. It was probably in all 4 years of that degree program, the worst semester I'd had, because again, I took things out of order. And so try, if you can, to go with what we have laid out for you, like semester one, or excuse me, first year, semester one, first year, semester two, so that you can try to stay on track for success that way too. And there's a fun math question for you, Dr. Crucili. I don't know.
Yes, I'm coming to that. Right here, I have a question for Dr. Crucili. Do you think that students who doesn't or who do not have natural talent for math can still be successful in a math degree?
I was literally typing to her and I was going to say, absolutely. I actually have a great news story. We have a professor in our department who said that they didn't have a natural, talent for math and went through developmental math, was going through developmental math, and she is a professor of mathematics now. So it's really about working hard and learning the rules. And so as long as you have, work hard and learn the rules and practice, you learn math by doing math. You have to practice. And so, and once you get that down, yeah, then she turned to loving math and became a math professor. So absolutely.
Excellent. Yes. And
And
then,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, back to what Dr. Reese said, I kind of had something similar. My last semester, I had miscalculated. I actually had 5 classes left to graduate my last semester, but I thought I had 7. So I had initially planned on only taking 4 and having to take another semester. And when I realized my error, it's like, oh wait, I just need 1 more class. The problem was I needed astronomy, physics, geology, chemistry, and English. It was rough. It's doable. If you really love the stuff, it's doable, but it's rough. Try, if you can, try to stick as close to that schedule as possible, but also talk to whatever degree you're in, talk to the professors in that field and get their input. Because they'll help you kind of plan out if you have to go out of order for some reason. They can usually kind of help you figure out which classes not to lump together and which ones will go well together.
Okay, from Facebook. When do we need to download our ebooks on our computer? For classes?
That depends. Some of the OERs are ebooks you can download and some are not. My physical geology class, the book is an OER, but it's a website. It's not downloadable. You go to the website to read the book. Others, I think the environmental science class that I teach the online version of, that one, if you buy the access code, you get the ebook version through the publisher's website. But if I recall correctly, it's not downloadable. So it'll depend on which OER you're looking at. And your best bet is, again, talk to the instructor.
Okay, thank you. How many classes would you recommend taking being an active duty service member? I know it depends on what the students can handle, but being first-time college student, I'm not too sure. I'm gonna answer that one, and this is my quality over quantity. Don't take too much. You're active duty. They own you. Let's be honest, they own you. So take 1 class, see how you do. And then if you feel that in the future you can take more, don't take more than 2. Probably, unless you feel that you can do that based on your situations. But don't take, I would say for the first time, take 1. See how you do. How you can handle balance between being a full-time active duty member and a class. And then if you feel you can do more, slowly work your way up to more. Because that is one of the things, and it's not just for active duty. There's a lot of people that have situations where you are a full-time parent, a full-time worker, and you're trying to do all this stuff. Quality over quantity. Get the grades right. Do better in your class. Even if you take a little bit longer, we would prefer that you do well and are successful than for you to slam yourself with 4 classes, become overwhelmed, and then you drop everything and don't do anything. But that's from the success point of view. Let's see.
Sally?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
Pearl, I want to add something. I think one thing that confuses a whole lot of students is when they're using financial aid, it always says financial aid to receive all of your money requires 12 credit hours. So some students interpret that to mean I have to be full-time in order to get financial aid. That is not always the case. What they need to know is how much financial aid did they qualify for and how much will they get for each class. So it's not true that you have to be full-time when you're using financial aid. It just means if you're trying to get the full award for each term, you have to be full-time. And full-time can be defined as 6 hours in the first 8 weeks and 6 hours in the second 8 weeks. So it does not always mean that they have to take 12 or more credit hours every single term if they're struggling new or worried about that. So check with financial aid to see how much you would get for each class if you are not able to determine that.
Yes. Okay. So we are at time for the faculty. I want to say thank you very much. Yes, you want to go
Real
one
quick,
last?
there's one that just popped up.
Okay.
Someone signed up for A and P in the science department. You have 2 different professors. No, you're not in the wrong courses. The lectures and the labs are at different times. So sometimes you'll have one instructor for lecture and a different one for lab. That's perfectly fine. A lot of the science classes, because of the labs, most students end up with different instructors for lecture and lab. So no, if you're in a lab and a lecture, you're good.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys very much. We really appreciate the time that you have given us here. And we really, really appreciate it. I know that you guys are super busy and have a lot of stuff going on. So thank you. Thank you. Please go on and do your other amazing things that you have to do today. We appreciate you being here. Let's see. Next, we're going to talk really quick about email and Eagle Mail. So I'm going to show you a really quick video. And we're going to just mention it very quickly so that you guys are aware of the importance of Eagle Mail. I'm sorry, guys. Give me one sec. Let me start that over. All right.
I had just
Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. Let's stop sharing. Sorry about that. Scroll through. It happens. But basically, I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of the importance of Eagle Mail. Normally, we have our faculty members talk about this, but they have somewhere else to go. But here's the important part of this. It is that we have we want to make sure that you understand that the faculty is actually going to be communicating with you mostly through Eagle Mail. Also, CTC, important events, financial aid, basically anybody on campus, once you get your Eagle Mail, they're only going to communicate with you through that Eagle Mail. Now, here's the kicker. You will not receive your Eagle Mail until after your classes begin. Until that time, you're going to still be getting information through your email that you put in when you registered and when you applied for admissions. After that, it's going to then you're going to get one email that's going to say, okay, now here's your Eagle Mail information. You have your Eagle Mail, and that's when the Eagle Mail kicks in. And from there on, you have to check your Eagle Mail. There's a few ways of doing that. One of the, you can log in the first time, and if you want, you can actually forward those emails to the email of your preference that you use the most. There is a way of doing that. But the important thing is that you do check your Eagle Mail, or that you forward all your email, so that way you are receiving the information from the faculty, from financial aid, and other CTC departments. I use it a lot myself. So make sure that you're doing that. That is the main way that we're going to communicate with you, is through Eagle Mail. So make sure that you're adding that to all the steps and everything else that you have to do. During the pandemic, we had a situation where we had to do a very quick shift from being in the classroom to not being in the classroom. It all happened during spring break that decision was made. And when we were coming back from spring break, the faculty was desperately trying to get a hold of their students, saying, hey, this is how we're going to do things from now on. Please, log in this way. Let's do this. And the students were not communicating back because they were not checking their Eagle Mail. And the faculty was desperately trying to get a hold of the students and calling and all of that. So please make sure, again, communicate with your faculty. They really, really care. A lot of the events that we started doing virtual was because the faculty was desperate to communicate with you with what's going on. And there was no way for them to do that because the students were not checking their email. So Eagle Mail, you will receive to your regular email that you put when you applied for admissions. You are going to receive a link that's going to tell you, okay, you have an Eagle Mail now. This is how you log into it. This is how you're going to access it. And then you can log into it. It will be after your classes begin, though. So just please be on the lookout for that link after the classes begin. All right. So next in the agenda, we have financial aid. So I'm going to ask Pearl to please come on up. She is our director of financial aid, and she always has a lot of questions. So thank you. Thank you. Pearl, where are you? I saw you earlier. You spoke earlier. Pearl?
I'm here, just answered
Yeah.
the phone, had a student call. Sorry about that. I am Pearl Creviston, as Mariceli said, and I am the Director of Financial Aid. What I really want to emphasize, since we're at this point, is that I hope everybody watching did their FAFSA already. Yes? Already accepted, already saw your award, you're ready to go. Hopefully that's the case. And what happens with your financial aid is probably the most confusing part. When you do the FAFSA, they send it to us within 3 to 5 days. We get your file, we let you know if we need anything else to complete your file, and then we award whatever aid you're eligible for. Once you have your award notice, you are able to go ahead and register for classes. The way the process works is 10 days prior to the start of classes, we will release your money to the business office. A lot of students are expecting us to release this money to their bank account if they signed up for direct deposit, or release it to them via check at that point, and that's not what happens. So the aid is released to the business office. They will pay your tuition at that time. Again, the confusing part for students is when they register for classes, it says payment is due at the time of registration. That's true unless you have financial aid that is going to pay for those classes, and your financial aid is enough to cover the full cost. So for instance, if you're a Texas resident in district and you qualified for a full Pell Grant, $3,448 for the fall term alone, that means your tuition, if you're full-time, is going to cost $1,200. The business office will subtract that $1,200 from the $3,448 that we release, and then you can go to the bookstore and use the balance at the bookstore to purchase whatever supplies and books that you need for class. Then about 30 days after classes start, the business office, and that is done through the disbursements office on their side, will issue any balances from the amounts that we distributed to your account and you did not use. And those become financial aid balance checks. So the different types of aid that you might have are scholarships, veterans benefits, you might have Pell Grant, student loans, you could have other state grants, other funding. All of it works with the exception of VA. Your benefits will transmit automatically anything you see awarded on your notice. Each different type of scholarship, Pell Grant, has different awarding criteria based on the amounts and what foundation, for instance, or outside entities attached to your scholarship. So some of you may have scholarships that require 12 credit hours and you're only in 6 right now. So none of that scholarship is going to release until you're in 12 hours. So it's important if you have multiple types of aid and you're not seeing it transmitted, that you contact us and make sure that you are doing what you need and able to get those scholarships. Another thing I like to let students know about is if you've been awarded a foundation scholarship from CTC, you will generally not receive a balance of anything you don't use. So I encourage you to use those scholarships and purchase supplies or materials that you need and ensure you use most of that money, because that part of the money will not be sent to you as a balance. It goes back to the foundation as unused funds. So please ask any questions. I've put my email in here a few times so that if you have personal questions while you're sitting in the session about your account, I don't want to discuss those in this big forum. So I've put my email out there, and you have questions about your account, you specifically don't understand what's released or what hasn't released or why, then send me an email. I put that out there so you can email me. Make sure you include your student ID number so I can find your account, and then I'll be able to tell you what's going on specifically with your financial aid. So for veterans benefits, most of you that are veterans and are trying to use your veterans benefits, you have a process where you have to go through the Veterans Department and obtain a certificate of eligibility. Once you have that, you turn that into our VA office and you complete that information. They will then award any veterans benefits that you have. And for financial aid, just know that you can use both. So we will award our aid automatically through our system, and they will award once they've received your certificate of eligibility based on what criteria they offer in each of the different VA portions. So that is just an overview, because you guys are in this forum of you're ready to go, right? You're registered, you want to start, and you need to know how everything works. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail of how you fill out a FAFSA, because you should already be at that point by now, hopefully. If not, just know that all FAFSAs are done at studentaid.gov. Don't ever pay anybody to do a FAFSA for you. If you Google FAFSA, you'll get all kinds of websites that say, hey, we'll help you do this. It's not difficult. If you're struggling, you have issues, questions, we're here for you. We have computers in our lobby. You can come in and fill out a FAFSA. You can bring a parent with you if you need to, but don't ever pay anybody to do that for you, because all they're going to do is ask you all of the answers that you would have to enter on the FAFSA application and charge you for that. Okay, so I just want to caution anybody of ever paying for any of this information. Other types of aid that I've seen mentioned are third-party sponsorships and TA and different things that other people are using. My CAA, for instance. All of that is considered an exemption and is outside of financial aid and is handled directly by the business office. Okay, so if you have a foster care exemption, if you have a military TA, if you have my CAA, all of that goes through the business office. It's not part of what financial aid will be doing on our side. So I will be monitoring this session, and I'm here if you need me. I have email out there. You can email me. I'm going to put it in there one more time just because I've put it in a few times, but you'll have to go, oh, no, Morgan already beat me to it. She just added my email information because she's awesome. So that is all I have for you today. Is there any basic questions that I can answer?
I see here it says, how long does it take after I complete the direct loan counseling modules for it to be removed from the checklist?
If the direct loan, once you've completed everything and it's awarded, it will clear. And those are generally within about a week. You'll see your loan out there. Keep in mind, there is one thing about student loans. If you are a first-time loan borrower, which many of you coming out of high school, of course, will be, then your loan will not release to the business office until 30 days after classes start. That means they'll hold you for tuition, that you don't have to pay that. But if loans are your only source of paying for anything, you would have to buy books out of pocket. But otherwise, once the loan is processed, it releases just like everything else 10 days prior to the start of classes, except for first-time loan borrowers.
Okay. So if they accidentally declined a loan, is there any way to take it back and accept
I
it?
don't want you to have a loan in the first place, so I'm not giving it back. Yes, there is. You can just email the loan officer, and her name is Tina Sanchez Urita, and I will type her information in there shortly. But you can just let her know you want your loan reset, you've changed your mind. But I do just want to do my little commercial of please don't get a loan if you don't need one. CTC is probably one of the lowest cost educations you'll get anywhere. And you will need loans once you get to an upper bachelor's degree level. And if you can leave CTC debt free, that makes me very, very happy. And I think a lot of students are just overwhelmed by the fact that they can have that much loan money and take out a loan without realizing you are going to have to pay that back, and you'll have to pay it back with interest. So loans don't get paid back until 6 months after you graduate, but wouldn't it be better not to have the loan at all? If you have a full Pell Grant, you should have enough funding to pay for everything and get a balance check.
Can you explain a little bit about what a consortium agreement is and how that works?
Absolutely. The consortium agreement is when you have finished your education at CTC and you need to move on to, let's say, Texas A&M Central Texas, right down the street. That means you're going to an upper level university. You get over there and they say to you, well, you have everything you need to be admitted. We can take you now, but you know what? You've got about 2 or 3 lower level classes that you still need to take, and you're going to have to go back and take those at CTC or someplace else. So what you do is obtain a consortium agreement from the upper level university. And what that allows you to do is, for instance, take 2 classes with CTC, take 2 classes with A&M, be considered full-time, and it allows A&M to award your financial aid as full-time. So you get the consortium from them, you bring it over to us, and that goes to Lucette Brett, our associate dean, and she will process the consortium and send it back to A&M as long as your classes here are paid for. So you would pay here. You can ask for an emergency student loan to help you if you don't have the money to pay here up front, but Lucette Brett would also be the person to handle that. And she will then complete the process, send it back to A&M, and then they're going to be able to award you because you're going to take a copy of your schedule here over there to show you're registered.
So what happens if, because we had a situation recently that we were dealing with here. You're under a consortium agreement, and then all of a sudden you drop one of your classes at CTC. How does that affect potentially the financial aid at Texas A&M, for example?
Okay, it depends. It depends. Okay, so the timing of the drop, if you drop it before it ever starts, you would have to notify Texas A&M because they will verify with CTC at a certain point in time to verify your enrollment before they issue funding. If at the time they realize you dropped a course that they had already said they would pay for, they won't pay for it. So you won't get your money back. And you may still owe for the emergency student loan if you took one out with us for that course. So if you're going to drop a course, the best advice I give you is drop it before it ever starts. Then you don't owe anybody and your emergency student loan can be reimbursed. You can pay that back and you wouldn't owe because there would be no charges.
So what also, the last question, the Pell Grant money, when does it get released to the students?
30 days after classes start. All refunds are approximately 30 days after classes start. We release it again 10 days prior to the start of classes to the business office, and then they use that to pay your charges, allow you to charge books at the bookstore, and then you'll get a balance about 30 days after classes start.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I really want to say thank you, Pearl, for being here. There's always a lot of questions with regards to financial aid. I am going to also, for anybody that has questions, we have our office VA people that work with VA that are CTC side, but we also have individuals that are actually working with the Veteran Services Administration, and they are on campus. I am going to share really, really quickly my PowerPoint because I know that that has the information. I have their information on it here. I don't know which one you're able to see. I'm hoping it's this one, but you should be able to see the representatives. If you have a question about your VA before it hits the CTC side, please go ahead and contact these individuals. They can help answer those questions. And thank you, Morgan, for putting the information up on the thing. And Pearl, I think she said she's going to keep just kind of keeping track of everybody. So thank you very much, Pearl, for everything as usual. We love having you. Our academic advising is very, very busy right now because classes start next week and everybody's rushing to talk to them. So they have asked me to share this information with you guys so that you know exactly what is going on. This is how you can get a hold of them. You can email academic advising using the two emails above, or you can call them. I will say right now, appointments, you are pretty much booked until way after classes begin. So I would say if you have the chance to do a walk-in, that's fine, but take your time. Please understand that everybody and there's just a lot of people at the last minute trying to get stuff done, and advising does get a little bit overwhelmed. And so you might have to wait a while. They are doing their very best to answer questions as quickly as possible. So if you're here in the Texas Killeen area, you can email these individuals. They will help you. Another option that we have is actually talking to Eagles on Call. Eagles on Call actually are the academic advisors for the Keats Center. So those include things like the people that are here for HVAC, welding, automotive, graphics and printing. You can actually talk, I'm sorry, that's Kate advising. Eagles on Call though, they can talk to anybody, any single student. They are here from I think 7:30 in the morning until like 11 at night, Monday through Thursday, or I'm not sure if they're here on Fridays too that late, but they are here very late. Or you can email them and they can give you a lot of that information, and they can maybe, if it's something simple, they might be able to answer you. If you're going to email any of these individuals, please make sure that you are writing your full name, that you have your CTC ID number, or or your birthday, so that they can actually talk to you. There's a lot of times, anytime you're emailing, especially if you do not have a CTC email yet, which a lot of you won't, that Eagle Mail is not active yet, they don't have a way of figuring out who you are. So please make sure that with any communications that you have with anybody on campus, you include your full name, your legal full name, the way that it shows up in our admissions form, and that you include either the CTC ID or your birthday so that we can verify your information. some of the things that these offices will do is actually a degree plan change. And you can actually talk to them, especially if you're like, oh, well, I want to do general studies. And then eventually you're like, well, no, I actually figured out after talking to my professor that I want to change it. Kind of like what Dr. Reese was mentioning. Oh, you're in this degree plan, but you need to be in the other degree plan. That's fine. An academic advisor can help do that. Then you also have to make sure that you're asking yourself if this is going to affect your funding sources, which is what Pearl talked about. Make sure you talk to financial aid if you're going to make big changes. What are your career goals? They can help you with that. And if you need to transfer to a 4-year college, then the degree plan may be different depending on what your plan is. Again, if you want to change programs, include your CTC ID or your date of birth, as well as your name. They can actually help you figure out what your next step is after CTC. So if you want to do a 4-year degree plan, and if you want to go, for example, to Texas A&M down the road, then they can help you figure that out. We had a lot of individuals before the session started that were mentioning that you guys wanted to do things like nursing, not nursing, like become an anesthesiologist, a doctor of any kind, or, marine biologist, things like that. That requires a 4-year degree. Sociology, if you want to be a social worker, all of that requires a degree, more education than just CTC. And your academic advisors can help you figure out how to get to the next step, complete your 4-year degree plan, and further if necessary. So please, that is another thing that the academic advisors do. Are there any major questions that I have not been checking the chat? So yeah, for those of you that are in nursing, you may have been put into the general studies degree plan. That is okay. You will not be put into the nursing degree plan until you are accepted into the program. So it is very, very common for you to be put into a general studies degree plan until you're actually accepted into one of the medical field degree plans, including nursing. So please make sure that you're aware of that. How to work on Blackboard. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, it's Pearl again. The one question about general studies and all, we were determining her issue of not being able to charge books at the bookstore was the classes were not required for the degree plan. She was on the wrong degree plan. So that is another thing I didn't mention. If you don't take classes that are specifically required for your active degree plan, financial aid just simply doesn't release for those. So some students say, well, I'm going to move on to A&M. I want to take 2 classes right now that I'm going to need there. That's great, but just know your financial aid won't be released for those 2 classes because they're not required for your degree plan. So another really important thing to know. And the last one I forgot to mention is you have to take classes that fit within the term date ranges. We have those posted on our website. So for instance, in the fall, all your classes have to start on or after August 15th, and they have to end by December 31st. Anything in between we'll cover. Anything that overlaps, for instance, you might take an October, November class and it doesn't end till February, we're not going to pay for that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bruce, somebody asked about Blackboard, and they sent me a message privately on how that works. We do have a recording from a CTC live that we have done in the past that is very specific about how to use Blackboard. I know Dr. Reese did a very brief overview of how that works, but I'm going to ask Bruce to go ahead and post a link to that very detailed Blackboard session. That it will be very beneficial. You guys can access it at any time. It is on our webpage under CTC Live. It is also under the CTC YouTube page. If you go to either one of those 2 pages, there's a lot of information. If you have questions, we have actually done a lot of work on Bruce and I mostly, trying to make sure that you guys have information recorded that will help guide you about almost any question that you may have. So please look at those 2 locations. It's either the CTC Live page on the website or our YouTube, the Central Texas College YouTube page. And you can get answers to a lot of things in short videos. And We did that with the intention of hopefully, if you're stuck at some time where you don't have anyone to answer, you might be able to scroll through some of those and you might get some of the answers that you need. When is it appropriate to begin speaking to the advisors about your 4-year plans and prepping to transfer? Oh, from the beginning. If you already know what you want, you'd start from the beginning, because what you end up doing is that you start, okay, so my ultimate goal is, like the person who said, oh, I want to become an anesthesiologist. Then you need to start thinking, okay, if you have to become a doctor. So what degree plan is going to be the best one at Central Texas College to help me do that? Well, it's probably going to be, there's a science degree plan that has to do with human biology. I forgot what it's called. That's the one. That one, you might be able to transfer it to Texas A&M. Over there, they have a bachelor in organismal biology. That one is probably going to be the one that helps you. From there, you're going to have to go to med school. So what are your options for med school in Texas if you want to stay in Texas, or do you want to go out of Texas? And then after that, then you have to worry about your specialty with anesthesiology. But you have to get to med school. So how can we plot a plan from I'm starting with CTC all the way to med school? An academic advisor can help guide you and make sure that you're on the correct path, for sure. And you can start doing that immediately. The sooner the better, because that way we make sure that you're on the correct path. You're not wasting time, energy, or money. And like Pearl said, you have to take classes within your degree plan if you have financial aid through FAFSA, tuition assistance, and a lot of I think every single federal program, even VA, you have to follow what's on the degree plan. So we want to make sure that, first of all, you're in the correct degree plan, so that then you go on into make sure that at the end of the day, you have you're taking the shortest, fastest route to where you need to go with the assistance that you have available to you. If you have an internship requirement on a degree plan, that is something you're going to have to deal with the department. They're actually going to help you figure out, because they're either going to help you figure out the location of the internship, or they may offer the internship internally to you. But that's something you're going to have to talk to your professors about in that department and figure out. Usually that is towards the last semesters of the degree. But it's definitely something that it's a academic department situation. Thank you, Bruce, for posting that link. And we do have a transfer advisor. That's right. Somebody that can actually help you figure out where to transfer and what those requirements are. The CTC offer biomedical classes. We do have bio classes and we have medical classes. I'm not sure what you mean with biomedical, so I'm just going to leave that there. But we do have biology and we have medical. We have nursing, medical lab tech. I'm sorry? Chemistry, all of those
Botany,
classes.
geology.
All of that can count. So I'm not sure if you mean something more specific than that, but we do have something. I'm just not sure if it's what you're asking. Let's see. Full distance learning. Oh, the books on the campus store. Yeah, you just purchase, if you're online and you just purchase your books through our CTC campus store, you can use a Pell Grant that way. They will ask you for your CTC ID, and there is a way of doing that. So just go to the website for the bookstore and they'll help you. The building to go to meet up with an academic advisor is called the Enrollment Center if you're coming to the Killeen campus. Medical Office Technology Associates for the internship part. Oh, that is what, if that's what you're talking about, that is Office Technology, and that's part of the Keats Center. So Kerwin Flaherty oversees the medical side of that department. You probably want to talk to him. So if somebody can type his email in there, that's probably who you need to talk to. Thank you, Morgan. I would say email because he is mobile. So she included the email, the phone number. Also include his email, please. Thank you. All right. So it's time for security, safety and security. And so I want to go ahead and introduce our Chief of Police, uh, Chief Joseph Barragan.
Yes, good morning, Eagles, and welcome to CTC. Ms. Vargas, did you get my presentation? Yes?
I did. It's the same one like that you sent me before, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I actually made sure this time around that I changed it.
You changed it.
Well, I mean that I put the correct
Don't be changing it,
just
Ms.
put the correct one.
Santiago. Ms. Santiago.
Yes.
So welcome, Eagles, and it's a pleasure to meet with you. I'm going to turn my radio down here a little bit. So basically, what I'm going to cover is who we are as far as our police department. Everybody refers to us as security services, but we are actual police department. So I'm going to let you know that the police services that we provide. I'm going to talk a little bit about clearing Title IX, your rights and responsibilities as far as those policies, and the emergency alert system. I hope all of you opted in to our emergency alert system. We'll talk about campus carry, as far as what the laws are, as far as you actually conceal carrying here on campus. And the last one has to do with the campus safety programs that we offer, and in the praise training that we provide to students, staff, and faculty, what to do in case there's an active attack on campus. So who we are, if we talk about who we are, and as we go to the next slide is, I just put that there so you can look at us. So hopefully all of you are smiling or at least laughing about that. So we're not mall cops. We're not security guards. As we are actually police officers for the state of Texas. We all have attended a police academy. We are all certified by the state of Texas, and we have actual jurisdiction in arrest powers within Bell County and Correll counties. So the police services that we provide, we calls for service, of course. If anyone calls 911 or calls us for any type of call, we will respond. We do issue the parking permits. Right now, a lot of students are coming in because the early college students actually started this week, so they already have the head start. So we've been getting a lot of them registering their vehicles. So what you need is your registration, your driver's license, and your CTC ID. You need that in order to register for your permit, and the permits are free. So there is no charge for that, and you can register as many vehicles as you will be driving here on campus. We also provide unlocking, jump start of vehicles. If have any vehicle problems, we also will help you how we can. And if you get a flat tire, we can help you with that. We do escorts in case you have a significant other that you are worried, you're concerned for your safety. We will provide you escorts to your classroom, from your vehicle to the parking lot. And then we will also talk to the person you're concerned about to make sure they're not allowed on campus. And if they're another student, we'll work with Ms. Santiago to make sure that we keep everyone safe here on campus. Lost and found. With Lost and Found, we do get a lot of books because people forget their books and they turn them in to us. And all I can recommend is that you put your initials on a certain page, because if you all have the same math book, well, how do we know that it's yours? So just put your initials on one of the pages so we can know that that is your book. We do provide first aid. And then when it comes to police services, we are available 24/7. Our number, and I know even where you see the 1200 number, but I'm asking you to actually save this phone number on the slide, the 526-1427. That is the number that we always answer 24/7. The 1200 number, you have to go through a menu and things like that. This is actually, you will talk to our dispatcher, to me, or to an actual officer. So please write it down, 526-1427. So the next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about the Clery Act. So right now, I'm working on the annual security report, which is part of the Clery Act. It requires me to report all the crime and statistics that have happened on campus or in the vicinity of our campus. And we have several campuses. So it's not only the main campus, we have Fort Hood, we have Marble Falls, we have Lampasas. So we have to make sure we do a Clery report on all of that and that we submit that to the Department of Education. So it's actually due October the 1st. The report has to be published. And right now you can actually look at the report, last year's report, on the web page. You go to the homepage and it's there towards the bottom. It says the annual safety and security report. If you're interested, well, one of the things that I have to do is this, one of the law actually says that we have to issue timely warnings and emergency notifications in case there is an emergency. An example of an emergency is like we had a hard freeze in February. We sent out an alert saying that the classes were canceled. No one showed up for work or for class. So that's why I asked you to do it. But we would also notify you in case there was an active attack on campus. And we would tell you to stay away from our campus or stay away from the buildings or that we're doing the lockdown of our campus. And that would include everything in the area. So let's say we have something going on in Clear Creek that's an emergency that KPD is responding. We will send an emergency notification that just to shelter in place or to actually go on a lockdown on our campus, depending on that severity of the offense or what's going on, the situation. So the next one is your rights and responsibility as we go to the next slide. This is important, and Ms. Santiago will talk about it. Mr. Murphy will talk about the Title IX, but I'm just here to say zero tolerance. We have a zero tolerance when it comes to sexual assault, harassment, dating violence, drug and alcohol abuse, smoking. Our campus is a smoke-free campus. You have to smoke inside your vehicle. We do invite free speech, but there is a process that you have to fill out an application for that. Please, your student code of conduct will tell you exactly what your rights and responsibility are. If you don't know it, then you have to know what the law, what the policies allow you as far as your rights as a student. And so know that. I do say things like the violations of the law. If you get a citation from one of my officers and let's say they get you for a no stop sign, don't argue with them. And the reason I tell you not to argue with them, I'm letting you know that you can come talk to me. I will talk to you about that citation and I'll give you a verbal warning. This is especially, you want to do this, you get a JP citation, because a JP citation, running a stop sign, speeding is going to cost you well over $300. So don't argue with the officer. You have a complaint to make an officer, please come talk to me. And we will resolve this. We will work together on this. But any other violations of the law, like if you get caught using drugs, we do have that zero tolerance. So we will at times make an arrest, and then you also have the administrative part of it, like the sanctions that could happen because you are a student. So don't break the law. We'll be okay, right? So anytime you want to talk about anything that has to do with law enforcement, please come to my office and we can chit chat. If you don't like police, come talk to me. As a matter of fact, we're talking about all these degrees and all these programs that you can, career tracks that you can start. I want to encourage some of you out there to join the police department. We have it at Law Enforcement Academy, and this is my plug for the law enforcement program because we are shorthanded, not only here on CTC of officers, but it's nationwide. In Texas, where we're trying to fill our law enforcement vacancies, and I think it's a beautiful career. I've been doing this career for 43 years, so um, it's a beautiful career, and I think that we're doing everything to rebrand ourselves, to reshape ourselves, and to actually go back to the community policing concepts of what we do. So the next line is the emergency alert. Make sure I told you how we alert you, and the next slide will tell you exactly how to do that. You can go to the Omni Alert, and just like your Blackboard, your user is gonna be your ID number with the C, and then the only difference is you're gonna have to enter your full date of birth, the month, the day, and the full year, and register. You can register as many devices as you want. So you want to put your mom, your dad, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your significant other, all your children. You can put everyone on that. So the alert system will make sure this is going to be available to you. So in case you don't get all the information, please go to the actual program, and it'll tell you what to do. We're going to talk about campus carry. The campus carries, so the law kind of changed last year where it allows open carry in the state of Texas. So you can open carry in Texas. What open carry means is that you can actually have a holster with a gun and walk around um, in Texas and on the roads and businesses, unless they post a sign that they don't allow it. But and they also did away with the permits. However, for us, you still need to conceal the handgun. You still need a permit. You still need to go to the courts. So in order to get your permit, you go through the concealed, we don't call them concealed course anymore. It's just the permit course. So make sure you have a license to carry. The good part about doing the license to carry is that it can go to other states. They'll honor that license to carry because Texas is the only one that, well, you have other states, but it has the open carry. But if you have a license to carry, you can go throughout the different states in the United States, and they'll honor that license. But here on campus, it has to be concealed. So, and then not only that does it have to be concealed, but we also have areas that are gun-free zone. We've designated them gun-free zone. All the early colleges that we have here. So we have Eagle Hall and the Shoemaker Building. Those are considered early colleges, and you cannot carry your handgun in there. Child care facilities, the mental health, like you ever go, Dr. Mahone Lewis, her office, you cannot carry a handgun in there. So, and as we go on, anywhere chemicals are stored, if you are going to a CTC event and you're using a CTC vehicle, this will include that also, that you can't do it. And then any critical infrastructure, we do have a gun-free zone. Like let's say we have a board meeting. If we have board meetings, we make them the gun-free. Right now, depending on the type of the events happening at the Anderson Center, like I just did the craze training for all the early college for on Wednesday, and we made it a gun-free zone during that class because it was just all early college. Our crime prevention programs. So I've mentioned the craze, and I told you I just did this with the early college students. They had the benefit of being here a week early, and we take advantage and we reach out to the early college principal, Ms. Scott, and say, hey, we want to give this course to all your students so they would know what to do in case there is an active shooter or an active attack on campus. So we gave them over 300 students the course. We talked about the campus escorts, that we will do the escorts, the vehicle assistance. Governor Abbott recently, because of what happened in Uvalde, he's launched the Iwatch Texas School Safety website. So basically, what it is an online reporting mechanism that you can report something. Like if, let's say you're on your social media and someone posts something, you can actually fill out a report through the Iwatch system, and you can also call us. I prefer that you call us because when you do the Iwatch, it's going to go to an analyst. The analyst is going to send it to DPS. DPS is going to send it to the local agency, which will probably be KPD, and then they'll wind up dispatching us. So I'm not discouraging you. I'm just saying I prefer that you call us directly, especially if it's an imminent threat or there is a safety of something that's going to happen. The urgency of that. Call us first, please. But again, I leave you with, if you see something, say something. We know the times today are a little strange. One, we have an open campus. We have, the concealed carry, that you can carry a handgun. I encourage you that as a student that if you see your classroom door and it's open, get up and close it. All our classrooms are capable of being locked. So I want to do everything as the chief of police to keep us safe here at campus. And to me, a locked door is one of the best things that we can do to keep our campus safe. And of course, we have safety officers, we have police officers on campus, and whatever we can do, whatever you think that we can do to make our campus safer, please let me know. And thank you all, and welcome, Eagles, and take care, and God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, sir. And I would say for those of you in Killeen, in the Killeen area, definitely, I really do particularly like making sure that you are signed up and that you have all the correct information. And I'm going to tell you why, because Chief kind of mentioned it, but I'm going to tell you my story behind this. If there's a freeze, winter is coming kind of thing, and if you get that message at 6 o'clock in the morning, like when I got it, it was so great to just take my covers, turn around, and go back to sleep. That was my favorite thing. So, do you really want to get out of bed that day when it's cold? Maybe yes, maybe no. And most of the time, honestly, that's what it's used for. It's things like that. So, it could be an emergency. It could be something much more serious. But most of the time, honestly, it's just to tell you, don't come to class, or, avoid coming through this bridge because there's an issue going on over there, or something along those lines. And that's all information that you really want to know about. So, let's see. I don't see Larry. But Larry, if you're there, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep going. So guys, Chief kind of mentioned this too. So I'm the director of student life and activities, which is a lot of fun, and we do a lot of great things. But the other part to what I do is also I am the main conduct officer for Central Texas College, which means that if there's a situation with a student, I have to investigate it and make sure that everybody's okay. And if there's a situation that needs to be, checked into, verified, or something like that, then I will look into it. So I'm just going to go really, really quickly over some things here. It includes the student expectations. First of all, you are an adult now, hopefully. And if not, even if you're not an adult, we're going to treat you like one, because at this point of your life, you have to self-advocate. Here at CTC, you have to self-advocate. We cannot, you're not going to have parent, even if you're a minor, a parent can't just come in here, or your spouse or anybody say, oh, I need to know what's going on with so-and-so. No, we're going to treat you like adult, and you have to say, hey, I need help, or I'm having a situation. We're not going to go after you. You have to come to us. A lot of it has to do with FERPA, which is that federal law that says that we can't really talk to anybody without your written consent. So if I have somebody calling me over the phone and saying, hey, I want to know about my son and what's going on with my son, the first thing we're going to say is we cannot talk to you unless we have permission from your son and then it has to be in writing, and then we can try to figure out what we can do or what we can't. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the faculty already mentioned it, but it's that important. You need to read and follow the syllabus. That is that contract between you and the faculty member. So please make sure that you are looking at it. Attendance is key. If you do not know, if you don't go to class, you're going to miss out on something. And even if you're online, you have to log in consistently. Don't leave things till the last minute. Academic integrity. Oh, geez. Okay, so don't cheat on your class. Now you're at the college level. Copying and pasting from Google is not okay. I'm just going to tell you that right now. There's ways for the faculty members to verify if you've done that. Most of the time, they can just tell by looking. But on top of that, they can verify exactly where you got it from. If you need help with that, you can either go to the library and the librarians will help you figure out how to cite your information, which is to give credit to somebody else. And actually now there is a program where the faculty members from the communications department are also helping with that. So there's resources to help you figure out how to cite your work. If you send them your work, they will actually look it over and tell you, you know, this is not right. If you turn this in, it's going to be considered plagiarism. It's going to be an F. Make sure that you change these things. Make sure that you're citing correctly. And they will actually tell you before you turn in your work, if there's something that is glaringly bad that can actually affect your grade. So you still have to do the work, but they'll check it for you before you turn it in, which is a great bonus for anyone who might, need that kind of help. Yeah, so if you cheat on a class, if you copy and paste to your class, you might actually get an F either on the work or on the class. So make sure that you don't do that. There's also civility, which means make sure that you act and react accordingly. This is an academic environment, and we need you to make sure that you're acting correctly, which means no cursing at your faculty or anybody on campus, making sure that if you have a situation where you don't agree with someone, you do it in a manner that is considered adult-like and responsible and mature. Not cursing, not throwing a tantrum, or not affecting the ability of others to work or study. There are a lot of college guidelines and procedures. The main one that I deal with is the Code of Conduct, which is found in the student handbook. The student handbook is on the CTC website. It does go over all of those things, the cheating, plagiarism, all of that, the rights and responsibility of each student, and the things that you need to be aware of. Please go ahead and read that. Look it over and make sure that you are aware of what is expected of you. If you're not sure as to what those expectations are or how to get a hold of any of these resources, please contact me. I'm going to ask that somebody put my email in the chat. You're welcome to contact me and we can have a discussion before it's a problem. After it's a problem, we can still have a discussion, but it's going to sound way different. I would rather, if you're not sure how to handle a situation, you let me know. I'll help you, guide you through it. Title IX, part of Title IX includes sexual misconduct, and it applies to all students. And like Chief said, it's zero tolerance on sexual misconduct. It is not okay for you to be a victim of it and not, report it and not get the help that we can offer you. We are here for you. One of the resources is Campus Police, but if you do not want to go to Campus Police, you're welcome to contact me. You can contact Dean Starkey. You can contact Larry Murphy, who is our Title IX coordinator. Honestly, you can contact any CTC employee. They have to, report and help you be able to get resources so that you can get better. There might be an investigation, but for the most part, what we're trying to do is be supportive of anybody who may have been a victim of sexual assault or sexual misconduct. There's a lot of resources that you need to start using from day one. And we're going to kind of go over that I don't know why my slides are not working that well. Okay, there we go. We're going to go over the resources in a minute. But here we have the Student Code of Conduct. That's the website if you want to just take a picture of that, or you can find it. We also have the college catalog. That has a lot of the information on your academics, like your classes, the descriptions for your classes, and what you can expect overall. If you have a complaint, there's a link to that, and you can actually put a complaint as a student. If you're not sure how to forward it, that's one way of doing that. And if you're, again, a victim of sexual misconduct, you are able to actually report that virtually. And here is a form that you can fill out so that you can report it. These are some of the resources that we have available. Again, you can take a picture of this if you want. Student success and persistence. We have the academic studio. We have free tutoring online and in person. Career services, as soon as you're a student, you can use your services if you need assistance with resume writing, techniques for interviews. They have a lending closet together with the library that can help you actually get ready and dress appropriately for an interview, and much more. And they also, it's not just as a student, but once you're an alumni and you graduate, they can still help you. So please take advantage of their service. You know, if you need some assistance with that, they can do that. And they can actually also, if you're like, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, I need some help figuring it out, they also have a way of helping you with that. Disability support services. I'm going to have Dr. Shank talk to you a little bit and about that in a minute. So I'm just going to mention it and let her take over in a minute. Student life, that's me. We oversee the clubs, organizations. We oversee the student lounge here in the central campus. So if you need to figure out how to make friends, how to meet others that have similar interests, we can definitely help you do that. Residence hall, we actually have a residence hall here in the campus, in the central campus in Killeen. So if you need a place to stay, we can help you with that. Your faculty and academic department is definitely a resource for you to help you figure out life. You met the chief of police. They are a resource. They really want to talk to you and actually get to meet the students. So take advantage of that. SEEP-SARC, which is the Student Employee Assistance Program. They have free mental health counseling. The library has a whole bunch of resources that everybody should go check out. It is not just about going in there and finding a book. Actually, as time goes by, there's less books and more online databases and just things that can really, really help you study. They have a whole room. If you're in the medical field, they have a whole room dedicated to the medical field. And they have most of those services are also available online for those that are not in Texas. Student services, we have the academic advising, financial aid, veteran services, registration, and we have a gyms here in Central Campus that all students can use. So you are welcome to let us know if you have any questions. I have not been looking at the chat. So any burning questions, somebody let me know. If not, we're just going to continue. I want to introduce Dr. Christy Shank. She is the Director of Disability Support Services, and I saw her earlier, so I think she's still around.
Hi, Mariceli. I'm here.
Okay, good.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to briefly go over some information about disability support services. We have a location on campus for anyone who might have a disability. If you have a disability, it has to be a qualifying disability under the Americans with Disability Act. That means you have to have a physical or mental impairment that impacts a major life activity. In order to provide services to you, you have to self-identify to us and provide medical documentation to us. The documentation must state what your disability is, how it affects you in a learning environment, as well as what accommodations you may need. Some common accommodations that we provide are extended testing time, a separate testing area, a sign language interpreter. It's dependent upon what your disability is and what your needs are. If you have any questions, I'm going to put our contact information in there as well as the link to our website. We have coordinators available for any questions that you may have. Thank you, Mariceli.
Can you kind of also speak to, because I know that in the chat, I know earlier there was somebody who was mentioned that she was pregnant and was concerned about how that could affect her classes?
Yes, if you are pregnant or may have a complicated pregnancy, it's protected under Title IX as well. And I will also put the link on there for any student who may need services in regards to your pregnancy. It allows you to miss classes, any appointments that you may need, and will allow you to make up any coursework as well. So again, I'll put that information in there. If there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, so I have a private message here says, think you have a disability with my brain. It has to be documented. Just because you say that you have one does not mean that you get accommodations for it. Just want to make sure just in case. So this is the information for Dr. Shank. We also including the information for Dean Starkey, who you met earlier. And so now we get to a little bit more fun stuff. Any major questions before we keep going? Nope. Cool. ID cards. I saw something about ID cards. I'm going to just say we have ID cards. You can get them if you're in the central campus only. They are in the Enrollment Center in the Killeen campus. So you are welcome to go over there and you can get it. You need to take a copy of your schedule so that they can see that you are registered. So that's something that I noticed that I have every time I look at it, I notice that there's something there. Another thing that next week, we're going to be actually having, once classes begin, the first 2 weeks of classes, we're going to have welcome weeks events. We're really actually excited. We've been working really, really hard to come up with events for you guys starting August 22nd through September 2nd. The first week, we're actually going to be helping students that are maybe slightly lost and need some help finding your classes with a map. But we're also, during that time, we're going to have talent show, trivia, video game tournaments, I should say, scavenger hunt, coffee with a tutor, and more. Some of these actually are in person, but some of those are also online. So if you are an online student and you want to participate in our Welcome Week events, you can just go ahead and check out the QR code. You can just take it, or you can do ctcd.edu/welcome-weeks, and you can actually get a listing of all the events that we will be offering as part of the Welcome Weeks, those 2 first weeks. The kind of grand finale is going to be the Welcome Bash. That's going to be Thursday, September 1st, where we're going to have a lot of resources and departments available. The whole theme for the whole thing is anime. So if you're an anime fan, please be ready to enjoy, come prepared to have fun with us. If you're not necessarily familiar with anime, maybe you can learn something new, right? This is an educational location. And so we hope that you're able to join us and actually enjoy a lot of the things that we have available for you guys during Welcome Weeks. Let's see. Are there any burning questions that we really, really need to kind of touch upon here that maybe have not? Let's see, a lot about ID, evaluation of credits, definitely TSI. The TSI, if you have taken it and you didn't do well and you want to retake it, yes, you can retake it. It's just going to be very hard for you to get retest soon, because at least here in the Killeen campus, they are booked out past after the classes begin. So just be aware that that may not be an easy option for you guys if that's something that you're looking to do. Let's see, can you invite a friend? Invite a friend, definitely. For the things that we have, if you want to invite a friend, and they want to learn about CTC, we want them, because hopefully they'll want to come over and become a CTC student as well. So that's what we want to try to do as much as possible, is not just you, but if you have somebody else that you think needs to be taking classes over here, help us out. We'll get them taken care of. Just come see us and we'll take care of y'all. Okay, so JST transcripts. I'm not sure what you need me to talk about JST transcripts, but they are actually the Joint Military Service transcript that is used. So what happens is that the military has different trainings, and the ACE, American Council of Education, I think it's what it stands for, has actually evaluated those classes and decided that they are equivalent to certain college level courses. And so they have said this is equivalent to that. And CTC has actually paired up with ACE and said, okay, well, if you consider them, we're going to accept them. And the military then has created a transcript that you can send in to us, and all the service members have it. And depending on the classes that the military has offered to you, and if it's something that we can accept at the level of education that we have, then we will accept those courses as they stand. Now, sometimes they may qualify directly into your degree plan. So for example, if you've become an instructor for the military, maybe you might be able to get like a speech class equivalent for us at CTC. However, for the most part, there might be a lot of those other trainings will just go into your general electives. If it doesn't do like a specific crosswalk, the way that, you know, we have determined that it's equivalent to one of our classes, then what will happen is those credits may fit into general elective courses. And we can kind of try to put them in that way. To know whether or not those courses actually will transfer in, or how they get applied to the degree plan that you're looking for, you have to have a formal evaluation. And usually you have to take at least 2 classes with CTC so that there's a certain level of credits. And I think it's around, I can't remember the amount, but you have to have classes with CTC. And then once we have those, then we can go ahead and evaluate any credit that you may have through the military. But we have to have a copy of your official transcript, and you can send that through. There is a portal that the military has. You can submit the transcript to us, and we will go ahead. And then you have to request an evaluation, and we'll look at it, see how that fits into your degree plan. And then from there, you will be able to figure out, yes, I already have credit for this, or no, I don't have credit for that, and I need to take that. I don't know, Morgan, if that's what you were talking about, but that's what I did. I'm hoping I covered what you were talking about. If you have, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I see a lot of questions about where students can go to get their detailed maps for the campus, if you want to address that.
Okay, so first of all, we actually have a map online that we can actually submit to you if you want to look at it right now. But if you need help during the first weeks of classes, you are welcome to come into the academic studio. You can come into Student Life. Financial aid is going to have some maps. The Enrollment Center is going to have some maps. Career Services is going to have some maps. The library is going to have some maps. So a lot of the departments that offer support services will have maps available. So if you go up to them, they'll be able to guide you. Okay, you need to go here. You're here. This is how you get there. Now, having said that, either print out your schedule and have it in hand, or take a picture with your phone and have it in hand somehow. Because a lot of the times what has happened in the past is that we have a student, and it's happened to me. I am here for my US history class. Where is that? We have multiple buildings, and there's 2 versions of US history, and there's like 20 sections of each. So I need to know what section it is and where it's located, and then we can help you figure it out, and that's all going to be in your schedule. But if you come to me and say, I have a class now, I need to figure out where it is, and you don't have your schedule with us, we can help you figure it out, but it's going to take some time to get you on a computer, pull up your schedule, and us be able to tell you where you're going to go. And if you're already running late, then you need to, that's going to take extra time. So keep that in mind. The other thing, if you're coming to our central campus, don't come in here 5 minutes before your class thinking that you're going to find parking right next to the building that you're going to be going to. Please allot at least half an hour to figure out where you're going to park and find your class and all of that, especially that first week. Everybody's going to be lost. You're going to be trying to figure out life. So make sure you allot plenty of time to find a parking spot, walk to your class, and figure out life and what's going to happen within the next few hours and where you got to go. I hope that makes sense. Can I leave now? I can't hold you, Ariel. We're for the most part done. If you think that you're comfortable and you have as many questions answered, that's fine. Right now, all we're going to do is help answer any other burning questions that you guys might have. So it's up to you whether you want to stay or not. For me, my part is over. I'm just grateful that you guys have been here with us so long and that we are able to help answer as many questions as possible. So we're going to keep going, answering questions, but if you have to go for some reason, I understand. How do you print out your schedule? Okay, yes, you can do that through the Eagle self-service account. And you can actually print it out through there. You can take a screenshot of it if you're on your phone and just carry that, because I know that's more realistic for a lot of students. And make sure that you look clearly and carefully at the dates. Because sometimes I've also had people that they have a Tuesday, Thursday class at 9, and then they show up on Monday trying to figure out where their 9 o'clock class is. And it's like, no, it's not today, it's tomorrow. So make sure you look at the actual dates that the classes are at. A lot of the developmental courses actually are Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. So make sure you're being really, really aware of the dates and the times and the locations, because in theory, we can also have a class in Fort Hood, one in Central Campus, and an online class. So you can have multiple locations in one schedule. Make sure that you're looking really, really carefully. I know that a lot of people that go to Lampasas also do that. They may take a class in Lampasas and they may take another one here on campus. Do I have to take the TSI before selecting courses? Unless you have a TSI exemption, yes, you probably should, because we always recommend that you have to pretty much know if you need extra help or you need a developmental class in your English or your math. That's definitely what you should be doing, so that if you need that assistance, you're doing that at the beginning, kind of what we mentioned before. We don't want you taking those at the end. We want you taking those in the beginning.
Hey, Marcel,
Yes.
if you're registering for a class other than math or English, then definitely you can do that without the TSI. But specifically, of course, for those math and English, you will need that TSI.
And there are some classes that do have like math or English as a prerequisite, so you need to keep that. Be careful with that too. I was on campus about a week ago and noticed some construction near the Kate buildings. Is that going to affect classes at all? No. But you have to keep that in mind that there might be some construction, and so the parking may be limited. And again, your parking situation may not be what you expected. Let's see. Morgan, please go ahead and show everybody how they can figure out where their classes are located. Please do. She's trying to get to it, guys.
Okay, so share my screen. We want screen 2. All right. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, now we can.
All right. So this is what you see when you first sign into your Eagle self-service account. What you're going to want to do is go ahead and click over here on the far side. This is how I find it. I go to the little hat and click on academics, and then you go to student planning, and then you go to your plan and schedule. From there, yours won't look like this. I don't have a correct degree plan right now. You'll see this, and it should have the courses you've already signed up for. It'll be the ones you've registered for here. Please, 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 please make sure you are registered and not planning. You can add them to your plan, but you have not hit register yet. Yellow classes you're not in, green classes you are in. What you'll do is go ahead and click print right here, and it will pull up a really easily printable and readable schedule.
So thank you, Morgan. That is the way that you can actually go ahead and print out your schedule. Again, if you're in that page and you can actually do this through your phone. You can also take a screenshot and walk around with that. It'll be easier than trying to log in and getting through all of that when you're trying to get help. If you already have the picture, it's so much easier for us to be like, okay, let's see, what building are you supposed to be? Oh, academics. Yeah, I can tell you, academics is down this way. If the bookstore says I need a specific book for my course, is it safe to go ahead and purchase it, or should I talk to instructor first just to be safe? The faculty said talk to your instructor first. Just see what they say the first week of class. So we're gonna go ahead and go with that. Just because each instructor has a different approach to teaching, they may be using it, they may not, they may want you to do it a little bit differently. So I would say, you can actually probably email your instructors right now if you know who they are and get clarification on all of that. They may not be able to respond to you right away, but they may respond to you before classes begin. So that's another thing that you can actually do. If you know who your faculty member is and you can get their email, you can email them. They're pretty good about that stuff. Make sure you tell them what class and what section you have with them. So like if it's English 1301, it's ENGL 1301. And then if it's there's going to be like a TD 001 or it could be there's different, but there's different versions of it, TD, TL, depending on your location of the class. So make sure you put that there's going to be a code with usually two letters and 2 or 3 numbers next to it. You need to include that. That is the section, or you can also include the section number, which is way longer, but either one. Or what is this? Wait, William. Yeah, so William has a really good tip, and I actually have said this in other times. When you're doing your registration, I mean, most of you already did your registration, so you should be good. But take into account where the classes are located if you can, because if you have a class that is on, one back-to-back classes and they're opposite sides of the campus, it could take easily 10 minutes to walk from one class to the other, 10, 15 minutes. So that may not give you enough time, or you are either going to have to leave one early or get to the other one late, and that could be an issue. So make sure that if you have back-to-back classes, try to have them be in the same building or in the same geographical area so you don't have to walk too far. Registered but not started is a good, yeah, because that means that you're registered into class. Most classes do not start until next Monday, so that sounds about right. Where can I get my teacher email? If you have the syllabus, it should be on the class syllabus should have the teacher email in there. And if you have if you have the actual teacher syllabus, you can also send a message through Blackboard to contact your professor. That's another way that you can do that. How do you go from plan to register on Eagle Self-Serve? The register button is grayed out for me. Then you need to look at the upper right-hand corner and see if you have a hold, because that's the other thing that might happen. You might have a hold and it will tell you in the upper right-hand corner, there's some messages. You might want to look and see if you have a hold there. I was speaking to someone in CTC store and they said some classes actually open access 3 days before class starts. Yes, most of the online classes, that's how Blackboard works. That's how you get access. So you will probably get access for most of you. If you start on Monday, the classes will start showing up in Blackboard Friday. Let's see. What else? If you're enrolled and waiting for the class to start okay. All right. These are really great questions, guys. You guys are really on spot. What else?
Marcella, there
Anything
was
else?
one in Facebook, and I'm not sure if you got to it. I didn't hear it, but the question was, do we have to be vaccinated to come on campus? Did we answer that already?
No, I have not. So,
Okay.
thank you. It depends. So, if you're talking about COVID, the answer to that is no. However, we do have, if you are 21 or younger, you have to have a meningitis vaccination. Or if you're living in the Morton Hall, our residence hall, you do have to have a meningitis vaccination. So if you're over 21 or you're taking a class outside of a Texas in-person location, then you do not need to be vaccinated for meningitis. But if you are taking an in-person class in Texas, and you're under 21 years old, per Texas law, you have to have a meningitis vaccination, or if you're living in the residence hall, regardless of the age. Now, COVID, you do not have to be vaccinated for COVID to come to the campus. Great question. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. I kind of got away from that.
No worries.
For the parking permit, that is for us to park at the school during a class and we just walk into the campus police building. Yeah, if you go to the campus police building with your registration, the vehicle registration, insurance, and your ID, they'll go ahead and help you get that parking permit. So if the class is online, will there be some sort of link in Blackboard to join the lectures? Okay. So here's the kicker. Depends. So if the online, there's different versions of online class, or distance learning class. When we say online, that actually means it's completely online. You will not be talking directly to a professor. You will not necessarily see the professor. All of the information is going to be in there, and you're just going to follow the instructions that appear on Blackboard for the class based on what the syllabus says. There's the one that requires you to turn in assignments every week, pretty much. They'll tell you by the end of this week or by the end of this time, you have to have this done, and it has actual dates and times where things have to be turned in. There's also the self-paced, which means that you have to turn in all the assignments before the end of the class. And then the final version is what we call the SVL, which is the synchronous virtual learning. And for that one, you would then log in at a specific date and time. Then you would actually see the professor teaching something, and you can have interaction with the professor virtually. Kind of the same thing that we're doing right now. This is an SVL format. And but it depends on what version you registered for. So please make sure that you're looking at what you registered for. Look at the class and it should tell you what you did. You do not need to schedule an appointment to get your IDs now. You can just walk in. If I'm an online student and the only time I go into campus is for tutoring or studying, do I still need a permit? Yes, we want you to get a permit, because what ends up happening is if there's an emergency and we need to track you down, we need to know who you are. And so that's why we ask that every student have a permit on campus. Carletta, some classes that are fully on, okay. Okay, what else? You guys have great questions and you guys are doing great, so.
Mariceli, if you don't mind,
Yes.
while we have this lull, I've seen a lot of stuff about tutoring and studying.
Please
Let's
do.
talk about the studio.
Do so.
So the academic studio is going to be in building 220 upstairs on the Colleen main campus. We offer free tutoring for anyone who is a CTC student, as long as you have your CTC ID card with you, which you can get in building 211, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and then Fridays from 9 to 11. For your tutoring, it is 1 hour of tutoring, either in person or online, and then you can get an additional hour if nobody's waiting for your tutor. We offer all of the maths, all of the sciences. We have economics, history, government. We have a lot of one-off ones. We have psychology and stuff like that. We can and will help you with paper reviews. Even if we don't have that subject, we can look over the paper and see if it's correct. For the studio, we also have self-study areas, so you can come, use a table, sit down and study. We also have computers and free printing for students. It is 10 pages per day. We do not allow you to print more than that because we do not take money. The library does have printing as well, so you can go there and they do take money, so you can print extra pages if you need it with them. So that's it for tutoring. Again, that is going to be building 220. Upstairs, we do offer online and in-person tutoring. And then it'll be Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5 for the fall semester. And I will put the number and the email for the studio in the chat.
So Morgan, before you leave, somebody asked, what if you need tutoring outside of the times that are set?
There is very rare, but if it is a hard pressed opportunity and you really do need that tutoring outside hours, we can work with you.
Excellent. Okay. Yes, parking. So if you're coming on central campus, especially, and there's a possibility of somebody parking in here, yes, we want you to have a sticker, whether it's you or your parents that are driving you, doesn't matter. We always want to identify vehicles just in case we have to get a hold of you. Second, there isn't specifically student parking, but there is reserved parking. So you need to kind of be on the lookout for that. So as a student, do not park in reserved parking, because the people that have reserved parking, it's employees that actually pay for the use of the parking. So it's really important that, and you can get a ticket if you park there. So don't do that. And also don't of course park in any of the disabled parking spots unless you have the actual disability placard on it that you have from the state. Not it used to be that if you were a disabled veteran, just by having the plates that said disabled veteran, that alone allowed you to park in those spots. That is no longer the case per Texas law. You now have to have the placard that is given to you by DPS to be able to park in those spots. So please don't get a ticket for something like that. Issues with the Pell Grant, please go ahead and contact those directly with financial aid. We cannot give you that information because somebody's got to look into your account. That's very personal. We're not going to do that. We want to make sure that you get the correct information. To get online tutoring, it's all in the website, the CTC website. It tells you how you can request it. So please do that, or you can contact the academic studio and they'll help you figure it out. Did I miss anything else as I'm talking or doing other stuff? Any other burning questions, guys? Nope. All right. So if there's no further questions, that's pretty much all that we have. I really want to say thank you. Oh, we do have intramural sports. Yes, we do. In our website, we have.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Bruce.
let me address that real quick. This semester, they're going to offer flag football and kickball. And I just got an email from the intramural sports director and said there will be a second organizational meeting on August 24th at 10:30 a.m. in the gym. So if you're interested in playing flag football or kickball, please attend that meeting at the gym, August 24th at 10:30 a.m. After that, there'll probably be a 3-on-3 basketball tournament later this semester. There may be a 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 volleyball tournament. But in the spring, volleyball is a full-fledged 6-on-6. There's a basketball league. There was a dodgeball league this past summer. There's soccer, and they've tried softball in the spring. So we have a number of sports going on, but immediately flag football and kickball will be the first two up to bat, so to speak.
And you don't need to have experience to play, right?
No, you don't have to have experience. You don't have to have a team. If you want to get on a team, if you don't know anybody, just show up for the meeting and they do like this free agent list and you can meet people and join a team that way. Volleyball is not going to be until the spring semester. So right now there is no sign up for volleyball, but that may happen if they have a volleyball tournament. Check social media because we always post these announcements on social media. And if you happen to go to the gym to work out or do whatever, there's always flyers posted in the gym about upcoming intramural sports events.
And then the other thing about intramural sports is that it's actually faculty, staff, and students that play. So that is a great opportunity if there's that professor that you want to go against. Just make sure that they're in one of the sports. We got you. No, it's a lot of fun because then you get to see how faculty, staff, and students, can interact in a different way, and it's a different approach and it's a lot of fun. So
You will be required to have your current student ID card to participate, so make sure that you take care of that.
yes. All right. That's all we have. Anything else? So, oh, what is CTC social media for these updates, Bruce?
Oh, we have a ton. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Snapchat. Check us out on YouTube. I wish I had my little handy dandy cheat sheet here. There we go. Morgan's got us a CTC for me. So you can check us out that way on the whole gamut of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch and Discord, even as William says, Snapchat, Instagram, those things. So CTC for me and YouTube, that's the best way to get a hold of us, social media wise. So.
Yep. So we're here. Pick one, or two or three. William, can you put the Discord info for us, please? I know you got this. He's got that. Okay. So yes, we have a lot of ways of communicating with you guys. We're really constantly trying to communicate, and we always want feedback from what you like, what you don't like, what things would you like to see new. Definitely in student life, we are overseeing the Discord, and we really want to get more information about what are you guys interested in? What are some of the things that that you want to see beyond what you're used to seeing, all the time. So please let us know what activities you're interested in, what things would make it more fun for you to be able to have some fun. We have and definitely participate in the welcome back bash so you can meet other people and other welcome week events for sure. Any other questions? I'm gonna put the ctcd.edu weeks. Ooh. Yes, you can use the gym even if you don't play sports. As long as there isn't a class going on in there or like an actual intramural sport, something like that, you can actually use the gym.
Yeah.
Just bring your ID.
Yeah, you'll need to bring your student ID card, and you as a student are the only ones that can use the gym, so you cannot bring a family member or your neighbor down the street or your cousin twice removed, that kind of thing. So it's only you as a student that can use the facility inside. However, outside, the tennis courts, the jogging track, the fields out there to run around on, those are all open to the public, so you can use those and bring the entire family if you want to. But inside, weight room, gym, aerobics room, swimming pool, all that is for employee use only, or student and employee use only.
What's the dress code, Bruce?
The dress code, if you are going to swim, ladies, you need to wear a one-piece bathing suit, no bikinis. Guys, you cannot wear Speedos, so wear full-length swim trunks, okay? If you're working out in the weight room and the basketball court area, we ask that you wear a full t-shirt and shorts, meaning no spaghetti string tops, no thin strap tank top kind of things, no sports bras only, no hoochie mama shorts or hoochie poppy shorts, those kind of things. Wear full length shorts, and you must wear athletic shoes at all times. A lot of people come in there and slip the shoes off when they go in the weight room. Don't do that. You have to have your shoes on at all time. It's a safety issue. Same thing the basketball court. You can't play basketball or volleyball in dress shoes, Dockers, boat shoes, or just socks. You have to wear athletic shoes, okay? So we ask that you please adhere to the dress code. CTC has a dress code, as does the gym.
And there isn't a personal trainer per se, but let me tell you, they have classes where they teach you.
Yes. They have great classes that can teach you right here. Shaler teaches an online training class. Some of the more, the face-to-face, Coach Willis teaches a variety of activity courses and can point you in the right direction as far as becoming a personal trainer. But unfortunately, we do not have a personal trainer on staff. But again, the classes can gear you towards that.
Yes. Okay. We don't, and I'm not sure what you mean with sports therapy, but I want to make sure that you understand. There is a kinesiology degree plan that you can follow, and a lot of individuals that take that plan then go on to things like physical therapy, and other, personal trainer. There's a lot of things that you can do with that degree plan. Sports therapy could potentially be one of them. So there is a kinesiology degree plan that can help guide you to something along those lines. Okay, what else? Sounds fun. Yes, it is. It actually really is. Yeah, we're really here for you guys, you know. It's one of those.
Well,
We have a
what we're
lot.
doing, let me throw out this thing about the gym. The gym is open for you, as Mariceli said, when there's not a class in use. It's usually open at 7 in the morning till 9:30 at night, Monday through Friday. Saturdays, I think it closes at 2:30. I'm not sure, but they will post the hours when you're in the gym, so you'll know. But again, it's there open late till 9:30 at night on Monday through Friday. So ample time to get your workout in.
Yep. Let's see. What else? Anybody else have anything else? Nope. Going once. Going twice. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. I hope you found this informative and that you feel more comfortable now, knowing what you're going to expect when you start your classes, and you feel like you know who to go to if you have questions, and that you're going to be have everything that you need to be successful. So thank you very much. And we are looking forward to seeing you around, whether it be on campus or virtually. We love to hear from you and know that you're doing okay. Have a fabulous beginning of classes.
Bye, guys.